It is completely understandable to wonder when to sell your Bitcoin for profit in a bull cycle, especially in the year 2025. With Bitcoin beating out its former house cycle in the last bull run, creating a new one, going down, coming back up, and pushing to have a new all-timer, it has become a major question amongst our crypto enthusiasts that when should we really sell our Bitcoin for profit? And in this video, I'm going to be walking you through a comprehensive guide where I laid out proper exit strategy to take out profit in this crypto cycle to avoid your diamonds turning to dust in your hands. So if this sounds interesting to you, I want you to come closer and let's get right into this business. The question of knowing when to sell your crypto assets for proper profit in a bull cycle is something that's been rocking through the mind of almost every trader as we speak at the moment. But I'll be walking you through reliable data that you can use, on-chain data that you can use to make your decision and to as well let you know the right time to sell. And the great part of it is you don't have to rely on what I say. After watching this video, you would be able to make proper informed decisions based on the knowledge you are going to acquire from this video, as I'll be exposing you through very, very, very effective, reliable, and as well rare charts and data that you can use to track the momentum, the performances, and know the exact right time that might be okay for you to take out your profit in this market. Before we talk about that, if you are part of those or you are yet to even have a proper portfolio or have a proper strategy on knowing what to buy for profit in this crypto cycle, I advise you go see this video that is popping up right here to understand how to really know what to buy, because it's not just about having fun. You must know what to really buy, where I talked about 5 best categories where you can pick crypto assets to invest for this bull cycle. So now talking about the charts and the on-chain data we're going to be used to forecast, make informed decisions on knowing the right time to sell our crypto assets for profit. Number one you're going to be talking is the realized price band and the MVRV ratio. The MVRV stands for market value and realized value ratio. We also have the crypto fear and greed index, as well the realized cap growth. Also, we have the market days destroy chart. And the last but not the least we are going to be discussing as well is the inter-exchange flow pulse. Each of these charts offers valuable insights that can help you know the exact time to sell your crypto assets for profit. And the great part to it is the more most of all of these top charts that we are going to be analyzing together in this video gets to align, the more you'll be able to make informed decisions, be confident about your decisions, and be confident as well as a crypto trader to know the proper time to sell your crypto assets for profit. So the first one I'm going to be talking about, like I mentioned earlier, is the realized price range and the MVRV ratio. The realized price range represents the average cost basis of all Bitcoin investors in the market, while the MVRV, which is the market value, and the realized value ratio represents the ratio of profit to loss in the market. So the first chart we are going to be looking at or analyzing or using in this particular video is the market value to the realized value chart in the crypto space. Now, the realized price represents the average cost basis of all Bitcoin investors in the market, while the MVRV, which is the market value to realized value, represents or shows the ratio of profit or loss in the market. Now, it has become a normal, it has been observed that whenever the MVRV chart reaches a threshold of 4, it signals that there is a long-term market top, which means that whenever the MVRV chart hits this particular threshold, it is a strong indication for you to sell. This is because it shows that the MVRV chart is telling you that there is a significant amount or large amount of unrealized profit in the market, and it is likely to be realized soon. At this moment, or let's say whenever it hits this particular moment, it shows that investors have their money in the market. Investors have their money left in the market, but they are yet to take profit. And you know, everybody is there in the market to do just one thing, which is to take profit. So whenever the threshold is very high, you should know there is likely for the investors to start taking profits. And when investors start taking profits, the price of the market commodity will actually go down. So right now, let's just analyze this chart on a real-time period. So I'm just going to be using at first for this particular analysis, I'm going to be visiting blockchain.com for this. Let me just put it in day mode so you can get to see clearer. So now, as you can see from this chart, it shows that MVRV is calculated by dividing market value by realized value. In realized value, BTC prices are taken as the time they last moved instead of the current market price like a market value. Now, you see, remember I told you that whenever it hits a threshold of 4, it shows that there is possibility for like profits to really start taking in or taking profit to really start the market. Now, this time graph is showing from May 2024 to this particular period of time on this particular platform. But for better analysis, I'm going to be going to CryptoQuant, which is a platform I use so well. Now let's look at this. Now CryptoQuant is showing us this particular graph from I think 2018. Yeah, okay, this is from 2022 right here. This is from 2022, the May 2022 to this particular period. So now let's look at it together. Now you would see that at this point, let me scroll down. Now, if you look at this chart very well, it is telling us that this is on a daily chart and it is all for the time being. So now it is showing that this white graph, this white, which is very, very accentuated at the moment, is representing the price of USD, and this purple chart is representing the market value to realized value in the market, or the realized value ratio. Now, you see, as we speak at the moment, it is currently on 2.2, which means there's still enough time for the market to go, which means there's still enough period for investors to invest their money. It is not yet a profit-taking period or a profit-taking time. Now, let's look at it over the period of time. Look at this point before the market went down. It was around 2.6, which is just less. And we know this was the March of 2024 when the price of Bitcoin was around 106,000, and definitely no, sorry, this should be March 2024. Yeah, the price of Bitcoin was around $60,000 or so. Now let's look at earlier this year when the market price was actually very high. Let's look at 2025. This is January 2025, and you see the market value ratio is around 2.46, while the price of Bitcoin was around $103,000. Now you see that it is not very high, yet it happened that the market actually went down. So the highest you can expect this chart to be or should be is 4. And for an example, I'll say to you, to be on the safe side, whenever you start seeing something around, maybe this chart is beginning to show you 3 or something beyond 3, you should know that is just a good time to start setting your portfolio or getting ready to take profit in the market. So another tool we're also going to be using, or let me say indicator we're also going to be using, is something you're already familiar with, but not familiar enough, and that is the Fear Greed Index. Now, when you go to almost every crypto platform, you see the Fear Greed Index, like on CoinMarketCap, you see it on TradingView, but I think they are not well analyzed, or most people don't understand the uses of Fear Greed Index or what actually pushes the Fear Greed Index. Now, during periods when the market value significantly exceeds the realized price, that is on the MVRV ratio, when the market value exceeds the realized price, that means that it is driven by greed. Many people are actually putting more money into the market without taking profit. Investors push to buy more, driving the prices to go higher and causing these two metrics to diverge increasingly. However, the Crypto Fear and Greed Index is a popular tool for gauging market sentiment, particularly greed. So generally, when the index actually exceeds a value of 80, caution is very, very, very advised. Like whenever you see the Fear Greed Index going beyond 80 or starts tilting towards the 80, that means the market can continue to rise during this high grade period of time, but it is often a signal for you that the top is near. That is, people are actually just putting more and more money. That is, the greed index is high. People are just putting money without taking profit, and you should know that the time for them to take profit is actually coming here. So I want us to both look at this chart right now, and we're just going to be doing two things here. We're going to be looking at the time when the market went up. We are going to see the particular range of the fear greed index, and we're going to look at it when it went down and see what happened. So right here in the year 2018, you see the fear greed index was around 38, and Bitcoin was around a very peak period around those time. And let's look at a very good bull cycle. So let's look for the year 2020, 2021. You'd see around this period of time the fear greed index was around 76, and this was almost the last all-time high of Bitcoin in the last bull run. This is a fear greed index of 79, and you see what happened right here. After hitting the 79 time, it did what? It started going down. It went down as low as 20, and the price of Bitcoin went from around 60 something thousand dollars, or let's say 65 or 60 something thousand dollars, to what? To around $32,000. So now let's look at the fear greed index right now in the present day market. We are having a fear greed index of 70. So basically, you should know that whenever Bitcoin gets to the price of around 120, 130, 140, you should know the fear greed index will be around 80 or even more than 80. And that time, you should be careful on how you get to invest more in the market, because that is definitely signaling to you, telling you that the top is near. People are actually putting money into the market without taking out that profit, and that means the MV/RV ratio are very, very wide apart. That means the realized value is far away from the market value, and definitely the realized value want to catch up with the market value. That means people want to take profit from the market. This is the second tool, and I hope you are actually connecting the dots together. Another simple indicator we are going to be using is the realized cap, the realized market capitalization. Now, during the strong price period, or let's say the strong price rally, there is need for new money to flow into the market. There's need for new funds, or say capital, to flow into the market. And for this to happen, the prices of the commodity, or let's say the coin or whatever project, let's say Bitcoin in this case, has to keep rising, because to keep the price of Bitcoin going up, there has to be new flow of money into the market. So when there's not enough money joining the market, this will give pressure on the price to want to go down. So this can be actually be monitored using the Bitcoin realized cap. In this chart we are looking at right now, whenever the realized cap actually goes up, that means we are in a bull phase. This chart is very simple to understand and simple to use. Whenever the chart declines, that means we are in a bear phase. Now let's just look at it over the period of time between the year 2012 to the year 2016. I can say there's not much of significant change, and that was like a bear year. And you see the price of the Bitcoin around this period. Now let's look between December 2017 to this period here, which is December 2018. You see that the price of Bitcoin actually went down, and if you look at the realized cap, it's actually did what went down. You see it went from around 88,000 to what 88 billion to around 79 billion, and the price of Bitcoin went from around $17,000 to $3,000, $4,000 thereabout. Now let's quickly come right to this present year, and let's look at this. This is around January 2025, and the market was really going all high, and you will see how it went. This was 2023 June, the bear market and all. Now let's go to the ending of the year 2024, and you see around this point, this is November, this is December, and that was when the market really went high. The price of Bitcoin was around 98,000. And let's look at January, when the price of Bitcoin was at a very high range. Where's January? This is January, where the price of Bitcoin was around $103,000. The market capitalization was $836 billion. As you see, both of them are on a very high side, and that means we're in a bull cycle. So now, combining the three together, the three we've discussed so far, I will tell you that you should understand that whenever the MVRV market or let's say charts are actually coming together or reaching a peak period of 4, you should know your sell is closed, right? And you are seeing that your fear greed index is also doing what? Giving you that same sign. Now, combined with this, you know that whenever your realized cap is going high and your realized value is doing what? Is going low. For an example, if the realized value, that is the RV, is going low and the realized cap is going high, which I don't think can actually even happen, but that means investors are putting money into the market, but you're not yet taking profit. But whenever you are seeing the market value go high and the realized value is not going high, that means people are putting money into the market and as well not taking profits. But whenever you see the realized cap trying to go high to meet or let's say converge with the market value, that means I should let you know that it is actually a proper time to start putting your estates in order and get set for a proper sell, push or pressure in the market. So now let's go to the next two, which I'm going to be analyzing for you in this video. The fourth chart we are going to be looking at and the indicator I'm going to be showing you how to use in this video is the coin days destroyed on a 60 moving average. Now, the coin days destroyed measures the destruction of Bitcoin ATH by multiplying the number of Bitcoin moved by the number of days they were dormant. Now, this indicator tends to spike when large amounts of old Bitcoins are reactivated. Typically, at this point, market stops are signaled when coin days destroyed spikes above, around the place of 15 to 20 million. So now let's both look at this chart and you see how this affects the price of Bitcoin and how they all work together. Now you see that when the coins days destroyed is actually around 13 million, you see the price of Bitcoin actually went up. So we said it is between the point of 15 to 20. So whenever you are seeing something around 13, that means you should understand that means there's a there's a bull push coming in. Now let's look. This is the year 2013. These are 5 years ahead or 5 years behind. Now looking at this chart, let me explain this. This is the price. This purple line or chart is representing the price. The orange, which is not very visible here because it's covered by the green, is representing the coin days destroyed on the 60 days moving average, and the green is representing the coins days destroyed, as you can see here, right here. Now let's look at this in last year. This is this is 2021, and you see it was around 9 million. The coins days was around 4 million, and this was not the peak. You understand? So now let's come to when we have a very high peak and you see what happened. Now you see it was going from the lower range to the higher range, and you look at the coins destroyed here is around 14 million. And like I said, whenever you're having something from 13 million, you should prepare for an incoming bull phase in the market. Now this was around 7 million, then we had it go to around 14 million around this period of time. And you see what happened next. It got to 15 and 19, went a little bit down, went to 22, and you know what, kept going and kept going and kept going. And this is the particular time the market was actually going until earlier this year we had it tipped down, and by the time the market was down this year, it moved down to around 13 million. So whenever you're having something around 15 million, you should know the end is actually coming in, like the real power is coming in. And whenever you have something around 20 million, you should know the end is actually here. Right now we are having it around 13 million. So the market is still fresh. This is telling us all same together at the same time right now that we are in a fresh start. That is, we can expect a proper bull push in this market. The market is yet to actually start. But whenever you start having something around 17, 18, 19 million, then you start putting your estates in order. So the indicators we've looked at so far, first one, second one, third one, and the current fourth one you're looking at, has all indicated and let us know that right now the market is just starting out. So if you are considering that, oh, should you sell off, that is Bitcoin still really going to go beyond the current price that it is, you should know you have no worries, because your indicators are all telling you the market is just starting. If you look at if you look at what is it called, let's look at this. If you look at the MV Harvey, you see there's still a wide range between them. If you also look at the fear and greed index, you see that the fear greed index is still actually very low. We are just having 65 and we are pitching for something around 80 to 90. If you look at the realized cap growth, you look at it, this is representing, the red is representing the red is representing realized cap growth in the bear phase, the green is representing the realized cap growth in the bull phase. As you can see, this is the current price of Bitcoin and all. You see that the divergence is actually still much, and if you also look at it in just the simple chart, you see that it's just beginning to go up together like we've seen it do before. And now we are talking about the coins days destroyed, you will see that we are just still around 15 or 14 million. Right now we are around 14 million. So the market is just starting. We are still heading to something around 19 to 20 million. So when you start say the coins days destroyed and the moving average tilting to 20 million, you should know the market is getting to its peak, like it happened where now, like it happened earlier this year. If you look at it earlier this year, it was around something like that. I wish I can get to expand this chart, but it's not expanding. Now, if we look at this is 2025. Let's look at January. I'm very concerned about January when the market was still very, very, very high. This is the April. Oh gosh, I've skipped it. But now let's just look at this. I think this was May when the market, actually started pumping again. If you look at this, the coins that destroyed still just around 12 million. As you can see, it's around 12 million, and when the market was low, it was around where it was around 11 million. So as you can see, the market is just starting out, and I want to let you know that the coins this destroyed is not a function of the price. It's not like because the price is around 100 and something $1,000, then the coins they destroyed has to be like 20 million or something. It is actually calculated by the number of old bitcoins reactivated on the chain. That means there is a new action of transaction going on in the Bitcoin blockchain, and I hope these charts are very helpful for you. In every crypto market or in every standard market, Bitcoin flows between the spot and the derivative exchanges. So using the CryptoQuant Bitcoin exchange flow data, this flow data reflects market sentiment with an increase or decrease, in Bitcoin moving to or from derivative exchanges, often trying to correlate with the bull or bear runs. Now let's look at this together, technically speaking. Like we said, the exchange, this particular chart shows the exchange during the Bitcoin phase from a spot wallet to let's say a derivative wallet. Now let's just look at this. He said the green here shows the interflow phase in the bull market. Now look at this. Look at the price of Bitcoin during the bull market. Now the red one shows it during the bear market, the inter exchange flow pulse within the bear market as well. This is the price, this is the IFP, the inter exchange flow pulse, and this is the price of Bitcoin, and this is the IFP on the 90-day moving average. Now I hope you noticed something here, that whenever the IFP on the 90-day average is way above the price of Bitcoin, definitely the price of Bitcoin is going to tilt. Look at it at this point right here. I wish I could show you. Just look at somewhere around here. You see that the price of Bitcoin went down. So now let's look at this during the bullish phase, and you see what actually happened. Look at the price of Bitcoin during these phases from year to year. It actually went up. This was the year 2018, and let's look at the year 2024. The year 2024 started on a bear phase, so but it actually went up. As you can see, it went up and later went down so far to the year 2025, because the year 2025 to some extent, except for the year January, had been a bearish run. And one thing you should as well notice is whenever there's a large distance between these two indicators, you will notice that there is a level of untapped potential in the market. So right now in this year, right now in the year 2022, the margin was high and it had to do what? To recover. And right now as we speak, the margin is high. That means they are still working for a divergence possibility on this particular chart. Now guys, these are the 5 charts that I actually use to monitor my move, to gauge my actions, to see when and when not to make some levels of decisions in the markets, to know the appropriate time for me to trade or to sell my Bitcoin for profit. And as you know, we are just talking about Bitcoin. I think this also affects or relates to other crypto assets in the market, as Bitcoin is the main crypto assets in the market and almost determines the main move happening in the market. So if you have any questions on how to use this chart, on how to use these indicators, if you don't get to understand them well clearly, you can put up your questions in the comment section and I'll be very glad to answer you. And I hope this video has been very helpful to you so far, and I hope you use it to make your decisions. I hope you are able to be confident to know when to actually sell your Bitcoin for profit in the bull cycle, and not just do it based on fear of missing out or losing out your coin. So till when next I come your way, I want you to stay cool and play big. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video.